Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. I'm going to be doing a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So, this is for Pisces as well as for your cross watchers, as well as for empaths who find themselves on this channel without any Piscean anything. If you're new here, if you don't know yet, but my readings apply to everyone. Okay. It doesn't matter what your sign is, doesn't matter what your sun, moon, or rising is. If you find yourself on my channel, doesn't matter how old the video is, you probably have some messages from your soul, not guides, not guardians, not aliens, but your soul. Okay. So, hello, guys. Hello. Whew. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of energetic shifting, a lot of, I'd say, things starting to go your way, Pisces and empaths. These things that are starting to go your way, it's almost like, okay, so let me rewind this. When you are an empath, you have such an elevated ability to pull in other people's experiences, right? And when you're a Piscean, being the very end of the zodiac, you basically embody all of the other signs. You embody all of the other signs. So with that being said, it's almost as though we're noticing someone is letting go. Okay. Maybe it's someone who wished you harm. Maybe it's someone who had fallen in love with you and, I guess things didn't work out. Maybe it's someone who's just obsessed with you. They're not trying to harm you, but they're obsessed with you. Why are you so obsessed with me? Keep it on the low. No, don't keep that on the low. Someone's doing this letting go type energy, okay? And while I'm getting the cards ready, if we could please just have a really quick side conversation, if we could. I'm asking and wanting us to no longer participate in that program where we shame other people for sharing publicly what we experienced. This whole concept of, if you share what you've lived through, oh my God, you're being messy. No one else should know. No one else this, no one else that. You need to take care of it behind closed doors. That's how we as societies support malicious, malignant people. Okay? You know what happens when you have no fear of speaking publicly about what is being done to you? I'm not necessarily talking about, mentioning their name and giving, private information and this and that. I'm talking about what you are experiencing. Like, hey, someone is doing this, this, and this to me, and this is what I'm learning from it. I'm not talking about just gossiping. I'm talking about allowing other people to witness you in your process of self-realization and self-healing. What ends up happening is, if you're the person that, not necessarily bringing up people's names, but when you're the person that speaks on things freely, people will not want to mess with you as much. They don't want to mess with you as much. You know why? They're afraid other people will learn the type of person they are. They're afraid of that. So speak freely. Speak freely. Don't shame other people for having the courage to speak freely. Don't accuse them of being messy. What's messy is you're inserting yourself into someone else's self-healing process. That's messy. Offering an unsolicited opinion of how to navigate through something painful, that's messy. Okay, let's shift that already. It's time to hold space for people who are trying to heal heal from what's happening. If someone is willing to give the full story, not just, the parts that make them look like, oh, poor you. Yeah, no, don't stop them. Don't criticize them. And if you don't agree with that, just quietly walk off. You don't have to witness any of that. But we have to change something in the society, something that allows for really malignant individuals to continue to exist with anonymity. We have to stop that. We really, really do. We really, really do. All right. This is the final deck I'm going to pull from. How are you guys doing? How's everyone? Yeah, delusional. It's true. Okay. Here goes. Let me get all of these cards right side up. So someone feels like they're letting go. I don't know if they're going to really let go, but it feels like there's a letting go that's taking place, and it might be affecting you. It might be causing you to feel like you need to hold on a lot tighter. Let's see where this goes, okay? Okay, so it's a masculine. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? So there's a masculine type of energy that's, I guess, wanted connectivity for some time now. I don't want to go so far as to say that this is some type of soul connection. I don't know that it is. It might be simply a karmic connection. If you don't know the differences between the types of soul connections, let me break it down really quick. Karmic connections are not meant to last. They oftentimes will escalate. They'll get hot and heavy really fast, really intense, and then they'll crash and burn. Soul ties are basically like karmic connections. They have a tendency to crash and burn. And then when it crashes and burns, it's almost like your souls are tied together, and they won't let go. They won't let go. Most of the people who are talking about twin flames, they're actually soul ties. They're not twins at all. They're soul ties. And it's just this connectivity that allows for the other to feed off of you. Okay. It's almost like they've bound themselves to you. And then, of course, the soulmate. Soulmates tend to be much more gentle and peaceful and help you to learn through things. They tend to stay for good amount of time, support you through things like that. And then there's the twins who it's oftentimes one of the most, if not the most difficult connection you'll have in this lifetime. A lot of misunderstanding, a lot of struggles. You don't necessarily have to be romantic. It's just a very all-encompassing type of connection. Okay, you and your twin have been so many different things through so many different lifetimes. So with that, let's not limit it to just being some sort of sexual encounter. So there's twin rays, which is the equivalent of identical twins. You share one amniotic sac within one womb. And then there's fraternal twins, which is like twin flames. You each have your own amniotic sac inside the womb. Everyone has a counterpart, but not all of us have counterparts who are existing in a physical body. Most of the counterparts stayed on the other side. They lied to you. They lied to you, so you would be so busy looking for this other counterpart. Most people will not find their other half. They didn't incarnate. This is a very tumultuous period that we are living through. And for many of us, in order to elevate your learning potentiality, your counterpart had to stay in energetic form and not be born. Someone's lied to you repeatedly. Multiple people have lied to you repeatedly about what that is. And they've caused you to hold on to something and create a soul tie with another person, because they told you that unless you find this other person, unless you go through this treasure hunt and you use the numbers to verify and this and that. I'm laughing because I saw this meme, I think it was last night, and it cracked me up. Like, he has to be my twin flame, because every time I think of him, I see 111 222 333 1111 1212, and the person responds, because they're texting back and forth, and the person responds, bitch, you always thinking of him, and you always on your phone on social media. How you not gonna see those numbers? It was mean, but I cracked up. So this is something we have to really allow ourselves to come to terms with, okay? This is really something we have to allow ourselves to come to terms with. It's a very hard thing to hear. Many of us have believed for so long now, quite a few years probably, that this is someone that you need to find, that your life does not begin until you find them. So let's see. If I was supposed to be in a romantic relationship with my twin Ray, that would mean that I would need to have met them before I met my husband. So he'd be like 10 years old or 9 years old. I don't know. Between 9 to 11 years old. That's nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty. This whole concept of we have to hold on to this thing, because if we hold on long enough, then it will work. It's not my place to tell you when to let go, but it is my place to begin just sharing so many of my thoughts that you begin to think for yourself instead of just listening to what people are saying. Where are they even getting this information from? Some website? Something? Where are they getting this information from? I saw a video. I'll tell you guys another truth, is there's more lies that have been spread. The numbers will mean something different for each person. You have your own personal codex, and when you connect with your higher divinity, you'll be given the codex. You'll be given the information that will help you to decode what's happening. So 87% at 720. That tells me something. What does it tell me? Sometimes it's in alignment with what the angel numbers say if you look it up. Oftentimes it's not. Who's right? The angel numbers that everyone knows about, or my personal codex? Which one is right? I swear to God, if you say those angel numbers, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not that the angel numbers are completely wrong. It's that when you're dealing with draconian tactics, they will release a half truth. Enough truth to make it dang near impossible to know that it's a lie. That's how they work. Start listening to yourself. Discernment is absolutely required. It's not just necessary, it is required. If you're going to go on this spiritual journey, you have to protect yourself and your heart. That is not someone else's job. I used to believe it was my job to protect people's hearts. That was one of the most difficult lessons to learn. finally realizing that I was being more harmful than helpful by protecting people's hearts. That's not my job to do that. My job is to simply exist. My job is to simply just be. Okay, so I have a dual clock, 88% at 8:22. 88% at 8:22. 88822. The highest level of reunification that we are being guided to. So 24 plus 22 is 46. The self and the self. 4 being the number of the self. 6 being the number of the self, seen as a spiritual vessel to receive information from your own consciousness. 88822 46 10. The realization that a journey has to take place. And you guys, I'm saying this as someone who would consistently document the time on my timeline. I'm talking about, this was probably 2013, 2014. And people didn't understand what I was doing with the numbers. I was tracking messages on my profile. I was tracking Richter scale. I was tracking all sorts of different things. People don't know it's just a string of numbers. When you allow yourself to truly receive messages, truly receive the messages. Don't allow other people to muddle what that message is. And really, most of the people who have their soul communicate to them by numbers. I see you guys. We can memorize Boolean strings. I can memorize like a 20-digit number like that. That's because that's how my brain is structured. That's how my logic is structured. That's how my intellectual processing is structured. Alphanumeric. Most of us are not alphanumeric. And when you try and receive messages because it's cool to be alphanumeric, what messages are you actually receiving? Or are you simply waiting for specific things to show up on your phone to justify whatever story you've told yourself? And I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm not trying to make you feel like, see, look, you get duped left and right. No, people are intentionally doing this. They're being used by draconians to manipulate your logic. There's a lot of letting go that needs to take place. I'm not telling you that you're incapable of communicating with your soul. I'm telling you, if you drop all of the BS, you'll actually begin to hear what your soul is actually telling you. Contrary to all of the things that people have read, have heard, have seen regarding twin flames, back when Michael began to bring this to my, the forefront of my awareness, I want to say that was like early 2000s. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. As if so, are you saying I'm supposed to be like, no, I was not made for someone. Get out of here. He's like, that's not what he's trying to say. Because it wasn't what he was trying to say. He was trying to tell me that at some point in my life, I'm going to come across an individual. We're going to cross paths, me and another individual. And it's going to be a perfect reflection of my internal state with zero effort. And you want to hear something really, really funny? There was nothing about romance in the messages. Nothing. Like, oh my God, so I'm going to have this best friend? Like, are you serious? And that's always been the thing. Up until the past couple years. That's all I've known that whole twin thing's supposed to be. that I haven't had a best friend like this. Like, I wanted one like this since I was in kindergarten. Like, that was my thing. I don't know if I watched too many movies or what, but I was going to have this best friend that I found in kindergarten, and we're going to be best friends forever. We're going to watch each other get married to other people, and we're just just like the movies. And I never had that because I struggled to connect with people. Even as a child, it's very difficult for me to connect with people. Because even as a child, a very, very young child, preschool, I'm just staring at you, analyzing you. I'm looking to see if your energy matches your words. I'm looking to see if your actions hide some hidden intent. I was awkward as F. I still am. I don't scan people anymore. I stopped doing that when I entered the double digit age. Yeah. And that, to me, that in my head, this person was going to be the best friend that I had been waiting for since kindergarten. Unfortunately, bullshit was spread already. Unfortunately. So now I do have several best friends. There's no twin shit in that. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So there's a fulfillment to whatever process you're in. And it's the equivalent of when your cup is empty and you've already drank everything you want to drink. Do you still have to carry it around, or can you set it down? 92% at 729. 92729. Again, inverted mirroring. Inverted mirroring. The two are mirrored. They're mirroring each other, and they're being guided to complete what needs to be completed. 92% at 729. Inverted mirrors. We're being asked to fulfill whatever lessons this interaction was encouraging us to have. Okay? Every single interaction in your life is encouraging you to learn something specific. Rather than focusing on the messenger, focus on the actual message that's being delivered to you. We don't know how long someone is supposed to be in our lives. You cannot begin forming expectations that are based on your human perception. Human perception is extremely flawed, and it's extremely limited. This applies to all human beings, myself included. It applies to all of us. Oh no, Emmie, humans are not flawed. Okay. Yeah? You want me to scan your life? I'll tell you how many times you messed up. How many times you've chosen the more difficult path just because you could. We come into physical form to be able to have that experience. That's what we came here for. We came here to experience an existence, a limited existence. You can't tell me human beings are not limited, because we all eventually die. We all eventually die. So it's a limited experience. We come here for a limited experience to experience limitations. We have to allow the limitations to guide us to new potentialities that also will contain limitations. But when we reach those limitations, we are then guided to even higher potentialities. And when we reach limitations for the higher potentialities, we're guided to even higher potentialities. Do you see how that goes? Let me see. I think I saw it in here. I didn't. So let's look at trees, okay? Let's look at trees. Does a tree just grow straight up like a stick? Or does it have branches? And once it reaches its limit, a new branch is formed, then a new branch is formed, then a new branch is formed. Humans are designed to have limits. The problem with the limits is that we allow other people outside of ourselves and our divinity to decide what those limits are for us. No, don't let other people decide what those limits are. Don't do that. And don't tell me you don't understand. They won't let me. Who won't let you? Someone that you gave power to have that authority over you. Yeah. My husband sometimes is like, oh, we have to this and we have to that because the expiry and blah, blah. No, we in a different state. But we're going to get a ticket. No, we're in a different state. They're not going to pull you over. We're in a different state. Most of these cops have never left the state they're working in. They don't know what's expired or not expired. I mean, hey, we're taking care of car registration. But until I have all the documents that I need to register my car, that shit's going to be expired tags and I will pay the fees, whatever. We in a different state. When was the last time you were pulled over in a completely different state than where your license plate is from? And the cop is telling you your tags are expired. They need you to be afraid so you can bust yourself out. If you get pulled over and you get a ticket, you pay the ticket. And that's that. If you get pulled over and you pay a ticket, get a ticket, you pay the ticket. Why keep stressing? If you already know you're in the process of trying to take care of certain things, why keep tripping? If you already know you're in the process of learning truths about yourself, get rid of that logic that if you don't reach a certain level of consciousness, if you don't reach a certain level of emotional and mental maturity by a specific day, age, that you're somehow expired. Did you know my online family, which is you guys, it ranges from toddlers to late 80s in age? No joke. No joke. From toddlers to the late 80s. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? To know that, wow, the entire human development, the entire scale of human development. Yeah, no, late 80s. Late 80s. I've had private sessions with people who are in their late 80s, and boy, they're full of life. Like, to me, 80s, that's not old at all. That's not old at all. You're barely getting to an age where you're starting to sift through all of these experiences that you've lived. That's not old at all. Nope. But it's a beautiful thing to know from literally toddler. Hey, baby boos, I'm trying to stop saying bad words. I'm trying not to be a bad word sayer. Yeah. So there's no age limit in regards to when you're supposed to do your due. There's none. Annie, does your mom watch? Does she watch? Please tell me that she watches me too. That's going to be like oh my God. Okay, let me stop. That's like a selfish thing right now. Oh my gosh. So this masculine fulfillment, I think whatever's happening, it's fulfilled. Okay. It's already fulfilled. And actually, you know what? Maybe I do have someone in their 90s. I should reach out to Sandy. Like, Sandy, I don't mean to be offensive. Please tell me you're like in your hundreds. She is the most adorable person I've ever met. Very spunky and like, oh, I'm going to look at Sandy's information. I was like, I'm sorry, Sandy, you're adopting me. And she's like, yes, okay. Okay, masculine fulfillment. So whatever is going on with this masculine, it's being fulfilled already. And that fulfillment leads to power. Okay. It totally leads to this very, very powerful, powerful place. A very solid foundation is being constructed for you through your struggles. Okay. Through your struggles, this solid foundation is being created. Making an analogy to working out and fitness, you have to build up that foundation of muscle in order to be able to increase the weights, increase the different things, okay? Now, for example, I don't know if you guys have seen a pistol squat. You know that that trend on TikTok. Da 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 da. They're doing a pistol squat when you're lowering yourself down, basically doing a squat on one leg. That's a pistol squat. Most people cannot do a pistol squat, even without weights. Why? Hip mobility. The flexibility is not there. The knee strength is not there. You have to be able to build up that foundation to do a pistol squat. I can't do a pistol squat. I can squat a shit ton of weight, but I can't do a pistol squat. I can do a single leg press with a lot of weight on it, but I can't do a body weight pistol squat. Why? I have muscle imbalance. I have tight and extremely loose hip flexors at the same time. I have to build that foundation, a very solid, very perfectly balanced foundation in order to be able to do a simple pistol squat. Excuse me. Does that mean I'm weak? Well, yeah. But I can lift heavy weights. Who gives a shit, girlfriend? Who gives a caca, girlfriend? You might be able to lift heavy weights, but can you utilize your hip flexors in the way they're meant to? Do you have that mobility? Do you have that range of motion to be able to do these things? I can put my legs behind my head, but I can't do a pistol squat. I'm just saying. Yeah. People think like, now I'm flexible. Okay, hold up. How many of you can do this? Okay? That's beyond a pistol squat. That's beyond a pistol squat. Okay? I can really squish myself up. I can really do that. But can I do a pistol squat? No, I can't. I'll tear my knee. I know I will. I can feel it. I tried. I'll tear my freaking knee. It doesn't mean that I'm weak in that I can't carry heavy weights. I can, but I don't have the flexibility. And this is such a perfect analogy for your spirituality and your spiritual journey. You're not just lifting heavy. You need to have flexible strength. You need to be flexibly strong, because if you're not, there's a potentiality you've built scar tissue around the parts of you that need to be the most flexible. Look at this. Hold on. I don't know if I don't think I saved it. Hold on. Michael reminded me. Da 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 da. La la la. No, I didn't save it. Oh, he says, hold on. Let us see. Yeah. Okay. Have you guys seen the milk crates at Walmart? They're not the size of a regular milk crate, which is a lot larger. I don't know. You don't tell me I can't do something. Don't ever tell me that I can't do something, because you know what happens? You know what happens? Oh God. What happens is I stick myself into a milk crate. Okay? I folded myself up and I stuck myself into a milk crate. Yeah. I still couldn't do a pistol squat. I still couldn't. I still couldn't. I could fit into one of those crate organizer thingies at Walmart. Bitch, don't tell me I'm not flexible. Yeah, no, we were in the RV and I was like, I wonder if I could fit in there. And my husband, he's in the front. He goes, you cannot fit in there. Don't do it. Let me show you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't tell your girl she can't do something unless you want to see me do it. Prosperity. When you let go, everything's going to be fine. It really truly is. Everything's going to be fine. You just have to go through this process to find yourself and your bearings, like where you're positioned within your life. Ooh, 99% at 9:45. So, like I said, I have a clock converter because I travel so much. 99% at 9:45. 999, 4 plus 5 is 9. That's the highest level of divinity. That is divinity raised upon itself in such a divine way. You have to find where you're positioned within your life so that you can understand where you're headed. So you can begin to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself for whatever lessons are coming next. And lessons are not punishment. Karma is not punishment. Stop with the vindictiveness. Do you know that when you say, they're going to get their karma, you are wishing harm on someone else? You are anticipating the celebration of their demise. What makes you different than them? You want to know my opinion on that? They at least have the courage to do it firsthand, while you're over there being cowardly and hoping someone else will do it for you. That's ugly. That's ugly. But I mean, they did this. I don't care what they did. I don't care what they did. I don't care what they did. It's not for me to judge. It's not for me to condemn. It's for me to know that type of behavior in my eyes is ugly, and I will never behave that way. Whatever you did to me, I don't need to wish you harm. I don't need to hope karma. No. No. All I have to know is I don't like you as a person. You don't need to be a part of my life. Don't worry, Emmie, karma will get them. I don't care what gets them. I'm not that kind of person. Like, they're a shitty person, and they're going to continue to make shitty decisions that create shitty situations for them. They're their own karma. I'm not interested in finding out what's happening. I don't care. Oh my God, you should care. I care about my growth and my healing. And to heal me, I do not require to see someone else suffering. I just don't. That's not to say that if you are malicious and you're continuing to try to do some sort of like witchcraft, voodoo, I'm not going to let you keep doing that. You kidding? I'm not going to let you keep doing that. No. No. Uh-uh. Does that mean I'm going to harm you? Is it my intent to harm you? Like I said, I'm not you. So then what would I do? Set up specific intentions and let you choose for yourself if you get harmed. It is well within my sovereign right to set an intent for my field. If someone approaches me with the intent to harm, not only will the harm be reflected back at them because that's their energy and their intent and it rightfully belongs to them, I'll go ahead and allow my energy to amplify it. Not only am I a catalyst, I'm an amplifier. I'm a catalytic amplifier. Why do you think that when you find me, all the pieces start to fall together for you? They come together. You begin to understand what's going on with you and your life and what you've been through. And damn, all of a sudden you're a different person. You're empowered. You can speak for yourself. You see clearly what people are trying to do, and you're no longer hiding the fact that you know that they're trying to do something. Now you're like, you know what? I'm good. I'm not going to stick around. Because I'm a catalytic amplifier. That's it. You have to choose to do something with that. You have to choose to do something with what you experience in this space that we share. And no, I am not the one doing this to you. This is you reacting to my presence, my energy. Stop giving your power away by saying someone else did this for me. No, you made a choice to show up. You made a choice to remain open and hear my opinions. These are my opinions. My opinion is no more valid than your own. I'm not empowering you. I'm inviting you to be just as empowered as I am. You see the difference there? I don't need credit. I don't need credit. You do, though. When your life has convinced you that you're incapable of this and incapable of that, when you give that credit to someone else, knowing darn well you did the work, you're still continuing those cycles. Let go of that. But we want to show you it's fine to tell me that I inspired you in some way. That's beautiful. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that you have enough respect for me that you could allow me to inspire you. That's beautiful. But when you tell me like you changed my life, I did not change anything. I didn't do anything except share my opinion. That's it. Just opinions. These are just opinions. Give yourself the proper credit. When you give yourself the proper credit, you begin to understand just how powerful you are. Do you know how many times a person can go to rehab and nothing changes? Until they make it change. When they make a decision to change, to shift, not because who they were in that moment is bad, but because they're tired of the pain and the struggle of who they are. When they allow themselves to shift to a different degree of existence, if the shift is enough, and it only needs to be a few degrees, it doesn't have to be an entire 180. You're not being asked to be someone else. You're being asked to allow more of who you actually are to surface and be witnessed. We exist with so many stigmas that other people who don't understand the situation we've lived through will place upon our shoulders. So many people have such a horrible opinion of people once they find out that person is or was an addict. Do you understand the concept of addiction? Their brain is not broken. They're hurting. They don't feel a connection to another living thing. They're hurting. They don't feel unconditionally loved. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying stop buying into all of these stigmas that we are taught. You know, many people who have addiction struggles, they're actually highly gifted. They're actually highly gifted, like profoundly gifted, either intellectually, artistically, empathically, psychically, energetically. But we'd never know that. Part of what causes them to turn to substances is to self-medicate because they can feel to such a deep degree the pain and suffering of this world. Why do I never drink? Why do I never partake in any substances, not even over the counter, none of that? Because I know I'm such a sensitive empath that is extremely dangerous for me to do. To be able to numb some of that feeling, I will probably become addicted. I know that. I've been cognitive of that since I was a child. I've been cognitive of this since I was a child, that I can never do any of that stuff. Nothing. I grew up during a time where literally every single person I know was dropping E. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those beads and the Vicks, and everyone was like, yeah, you should come. I'm good. I'm just going to go to work. I'm going to go to school. Stop being a square. Yeah, no, I'm pretty square, rectangular even. I'm not going. Oh, don't be scared. We'll take care of you. No, I'm good. I mean, people from the time I was a teen all the way through my young adulthood were trying to convince me that, oh, I'll have an amazing experience and connect to divinity, and they'll make sure I'm okay. They won't let me have a bad trip. Here's the thing though. If I'm so sensitive that doing substances that alter my function, my brain function, my cognition, if I'm aware enough to know that even without doing it, that I'm at high risk of developing addiction, whatever made you think that I need that to connect with divinity? I'm already hardwired. I remember when I was going to Peru a few years back, one of my friends who I really, really respect the work she does. I respect her opinion. I know that she had done ayahuasca. Okay. I know she had done it already several times. And I was telling her, like, hey, I'm considering doing ayahuasca while I'm in Peru. Like, what should I look for online to make sure that this is going to be a very safe experience? You know what she said to me? And I have such a deep appreciation for her because of this. She's always very honest with me. You know what she said? She goes, why would you do that? Aren't you connected enough? What? That's what she said. Aren't you connected enough? I mean, I don't think you even need that. You already have that experience. Oh. Oh my God, you're right. And she goes, yeah, I don't even think you need that. Yeah. She does QHHT. The first person to ever do hypnosis on me. Yeah. And she has such a level of integrity that after the first session, I was like, how do I book a second session? She's like, girl. I think you have enough on your plate. I think you need to digest what we went through in your first session. Like, I think you still need to work on that first. Surround yourself with people like that. People who have the type of integrity that either you already have or you wish you had. And it's okay if you don't have that level of integrity yet. You know, you can't have or allow people to hold against you the fact that you are behaving in a way that's appropriate for the environment that you were raised in. Not to use that as an excuse. The awareness that you were raised in an environment that cultivated lack of integrity and a whole bunch of other dishonorable things, that gives you a solid understanding of what you need to change. Once you realize this, you have to take accountability for it and begin behaving differently. You cannot use that as an excuse. You can try, but I hope you don't try with me because I'll call you out on it. I'll call you out on it. Yeah. Oh, but no, Emmie, don't be mean because my childhood was pretty fucked up too. Yeah, no, I'm still responsible for myself and my actions as an adult. I'm still responsible for it, regardless of what I went through as a child. I'm no longer that child. You know, one of the most, I'd say, scariest things I've ever said to someone while I was angry. Let me know if this scares you. I said to them, don't make me take my childhood out on you. Just like that. They're like, what? Don't make me take my childhood out on you. How does that make you feel? I was serious too. I was serious. That was a while back. I'm not there anymore. Yeah, no, I was serious. What does that mean? Fuck around and find out. I don't know what that means. I just know it's not going to end well for you. Is it just going to be verbal? I don't know. Fuck around and find out. I guess we'll both find out. I got that mad that I said that. What does that mean? I don't know, but it sounded like a threat. It sounded like a threat. It sounded like it was not going to be good. I mean, I'm not a child anymore. I can't use my childhood as an excuse. I cannot use my childhood as an excuse. And here's the thing, yesterday, God, I shared details about the cars that I drove when I first began driving. And people might think like, it can't be that much. I mean, she's spoiled. F around and find out. The fact that people don't know who you are and what you've been through and what you're capable of or not capable of or whatever it is, and they continue to test and push and push. Sometimes you got to let a little bit of the steam out, just a little bit. My mama, she had this pressure cooker, and I used to love this pressure cooker because it had this little it was like, I don't know, this little top portion. It's like little. It's like that big. And when the steam builds up, it dances like that. Okay. I used to think it was like a little metal hula dancer. It didn't look like a hula dancer, but that's what I used to tell myself as a kid. And I'm just saying, you don't want to see me starting to dance hula because the pressure's building up. It's building up. You're probably going to get burned. You probably. That's not something I'm proud of, but that's a reality of my attitude. And just because I've become more civilized as I've gotten older, it's not even civility, it's about maturity. I've become more mature, and I understand that when I allow myself to react with that intensity, I've given my power away. I've given my power away, and that's why I no longer do that. Not because I've gotten older and know better, but because I've learned the right things about myself. You're not going to get none of that until I decide. You're not going to get that. It's a hula dancer. I'm just saying. No. No. I have a very distinct memory of this in action. We were in Boulder, Colorado. We went to Boulder for the first time. And we were in a parking lot of Played Against Sports. We were getting ready to leave. All of the kids are in the vehicle with us. Our car is on, but it is in park, and the e-brake is engaged. And some lady comes and parks beside us in a huge SUV. And before she gets into her stall, she hit our vehicle with hers, a parked vehicle. I was like, uh-oh. Oh, shit. So my husband gets out of the car to check the vehicle. I'm like, oh, I don't like confrontation. And this lady comes out of her car, starts yelling at my husband. I got out of the car to try and de-escalate. I got out of the car to tell my husband, like, let's just get her information and let's just go. You know, I don't like my kids seeing even verbal aggression. I don't like that. I really don't like that. And as I got out of the car, this woman starts directing her verbal attacks at me. I don't know what she was saying, but she ended it with, go back where you came from. She's looking at my license plate, which clearly states California. To which I asked her, do you mean Asia or California? She starts trying to cuss me out. And I tell my husband, let's just get her information. Let's report it and let's go. Like, this is so not worth it. This is so not worth it. She starts walking towards Played Against Sports. There's like 2 teenage girls who are watching this. I'm assuming she was meeting with them. And we let her walk off. And I'm like, just take a picture of her license plate. Let's just go. Like, this, it's not even worth, you're going to fight an old lady. Like, this, it's not worth it. So she sees my husband is taking a picture of her license plate. She came charging back like she was going to fight me. Running across the parking lot like she's going to fight me. I looked at her and I looked at my husband. And when she got close to me, I said, I'm going to jail today, aren't I? And I turned and I looked at her and I smiled. You best believe she stopped in her tracks. She didn't touch me. I don't care if it's your purse that touches me. My children are going to have to watch mama fuck your ass up. I let you get verbally aggressive with my husband. You need to learn your proper place. And if your proper place is with your face on that concrete, it's worth the bail money. This is me putting you back where you came from, which is bottom rung. I don't give a shit how much money you have. I don't give a fuck what kind of mansion you have in Boulder. You put one hand on me, childhood's coming out. And I know she felt that. Because she took some COVID steps back. She absolutely took some COVID steps back. And I was like, you better step back. We Oaklandish up in here. Don't get my Betty Crocker outfit and calm demeanor and get that shit twisted. Where I come from, when you quiet in Oakland, you getting ready to fuck shit up. I'm just saying. You getting ready to fuck shit up. You're not going to announce shit. You just going to do shit. Most people don't understand. I literally come from the hood. I literally am hood. I just don't like to be hood. Yeah, no, I'm literally hood. You know the term ratchet? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. No. You touch me, you're going to get ratcheted. You're going to get ratcheted. That's okay. I'm smart. What's that mean? I'm going to F you up, but I'm going to let you F up my face just a little bit. Mutual combat. There's no aggressor. No aggressor. We either both go to jail or we both don't. That's how that works. That's how that works. I'm that type of hood. Mm-hmm. Mutual combat. If you're going to get into a fist fight with someone and you're clearly not hurt and they are, you're the aggressor. It doesn't matter if they touched you first. You are the aggressor. I'm telling you, PD was trying to recruit me. I almost became a peace officer. But I'm just saying, like, don't play with people. Don't try to prove anything. Own your space. Like, literally own your space. And just an FYI, Boulder is an evil ass place. Boulder is an evil ass place, and the people there, I'm talking like, yeah. Yeah. And people who know about Colorado, they know Boulder is its own damn weird shit. I learned that day. And since then, we haven't been back to Boulder. Like, it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me. I'm good. Oh, it seems like they live there. Moonrock. Yeah. I mean, what kind of grown ass woman in the 2000s already? This was like, I want to say 2016. This is recent, you guys. What kind of grown ass woman? She looked fucking old. Okay? She looked much old. I believe she was probably late 40s, maybe early 50s. That's not old. She looked like she was old AF. That might be why her attitude sucks so bad. She probably thought I was a child. I should have told you don't gotta be hateful just because I look younger than you. Seek the peace, okay? Establish your internal peace and stick with it. Don't let people pull you from your peace and keep you from returning back. Don't let people pull you from your peace and keep you from turning back. It's okay. Sometimes you'll become reactive. That's okay. But always find your way back. Okay? Always find your way back. In the environment that we live in, you have to become aware of what gaslighting is, what narcissistic abuse is, and what reactive abuse is. Okay? You have to become aware of that. There will be people who you will come across who will attempt to gaslight you into a reactivity. That is reactive abuse. When someone films you becoming reactive to what they had been doing to you in the first place, I had someone who was trying to say they were going to film me because I finally decided to wild out after taking their crap for how long? You best believe every minute or two of that recording is me yelling. This is reactive abuse. Can't use that video for nothing now. Because that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. You want to gaslight and gaslight and gaslight and threaten and threaten and threaten me until I react, because it takes a lot for me to react. Okay, record it. Send me a copy. This is evidence of reactive abuse. Know your stuff. Know what people are trying to do to you in that game of psychological warfare. A lot of people know about these tactics at this point. A lot of people, because of social media, because of platforms that talk about this type of stuff, yes, they help you to learn if you're experiencing this, but the people who use these tactics also use it to learn how to better refine what they do to others. That's the reality of the world we live in. It's not a bad world. It's not. There are still a lot of good people that exist. There are still a lot of good people that exist. I saw a video yesterday. This woman, I think it was like, I want to say East Coast. They were on a train, and the train was pretty packed. And she is just like screaming at a couple brown people. I'm like, what's this? What's going on? She takes her tablet. She got really mad. Again, I don't know about what. And I think it was because they were looking at her or something. And she took her tablet and smashed it on one of their heads. And so the guy pushed her back, like pushed the tablet, and it ended up smacking her in the face. And I think she got a bloody nose. And then so she went in on the other guy, and the other guy like shoved her. And it was crazy. It was insanity. And no one helped this woman because clearly she was attempting to do something she did not have a right to do. That was not defending herself. She was the aggressor. And she thought her lack of melanin was going to cause all the other men on that train to jump to her defense. No one did. And when those people got off the train to avoid her, she's sitting across other men and she's like, thank you for defending me. Ain't nobody need to defend the aggressor. No. That was a case of reactive abuse. She was trying to get them to react so she could make it seem like she is the victim. No. It's very clear. No one was being aggressive with you. Like literally. They're like, just leave us alone. She attacked him from the back. From the back. And when she tried to hit him again, he pushed her away, which is well within his right to defend himself. Hey, ladies, let me just be clear here. I don't believe in domestic violence, but I do believe that you don't have a pass as a woman to lay hands on a man and not expect him to defend himself. Yep. I'm not talking about you defending yourself. I'm talking about you being the aggressor and thinking you have a V pass. Like if I'm going to lay hands on a man, I'm expecting a fist fight. I'm expecting we going to brawl. And I don't know if it's just because that's how I was raised. I was literally raised like a dude. But if I'm going to lay hands on you, I'm expecting you to hit back. And we're going to really go at it. We need to exit all of these different programs. It's like, it's the very thing that's causing so much division in society. You know, you want to believe you're equal to a man, but the man can't hit you back because you don't want anyone to get physically aggressive with you. Don't get physically aggressive with other people. Don't get physically aggressive with other people because you cannot control how they're going to react. And you don't have this predetermined entitlement to be able to do and say whatever you want and no one gets to react. I tell you right now, you do things to me, you're not going to be able to control how I react. I can't even control it. I can't even control it. If you take it too far, like I told you guys before, I went I went to someone's birthday party after I just gave birth. And this girl confronted me. We had hella dudes in between us. And she tried to slap me. She missed. And then I just saw her face go, and I was like, who slapped her? It was me. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Even I couldn't control that reaction. Like, you talking too much. My hand came to life on its own and just reached out and pressed the mute button. she went mute after that. All she needed, I guess, was my handprints with the fingerprints on her face. I got long ass fingers, you guys. Mute. Like, who the fuck hit her? Oh shit, that was me? I'm not violent like that. Oh yes, girl. Yes, you is. It was open. It was open. So it looked like alien hand because and then my fingers bend back pretty far. So I think it was almost like a fucking punch. And then it dragged down. I don't know. It just happened so fast. And then my hand was throbbing. I was like, was that me? Oh my God. I legit just hit her. Holy crap. Yeah. You cannot control other people and their reaction to your nasty behavior. So don't. Just don't. Don't. The moment you realize that your peace has been disturbed, if you're able to, please remove yourself from that situation. Let go the need to prove that you're stronger. Stronger people don't need to prove it. If you're stronger, you don't need to prove it. Make yourself familiar with the code of Bushido. Make yourself familiar with it. In accordance with the code of Bushido, you do not engage an opponent who is not a worthy adversary. If you know for a fact you can kick their ass, that is not a worthy adversary. I think I've just reached and pressed the mute button. Because really, it would take maybe like 3 or 4 people to stop me if I really, really wanted to kick her ass. Just because I have this, it's a weird processing issue. I actually don't feel pain like that. It's more painful if you touch me softly than it is to like hit me hard. Like hitting me hard is just like, oh, why'd you do that? I'm just saying. It's just and so it becomes very difficult for me to self-regulate if I'm already at that point where I'm physically aggressive, which I almost never get to that point where I'm physically aggressive. You have to really, really make me 100% believe that you will physically harm me, and then I'm physically aggressive. So it's appropriate. I feel like I have to make this clear so you guys understand I'm not glorifying violence or aggression. Because maybe most of you don't know that that's how I am. Like, you have to actually have me truly 100% believe you will physically harm me. Anything short of, and then I have no way out. Anything short of that, I'm good. Like, no, why are you acting like this? Stop. Like, I'm just going to leave, because I'm not an aggressive person until you force me to be. Okay? It's okay for me to be like that. It's okay for you to have that defensive measure. If you have no other way of getting out of that situation, you have to protect yourself. If you have a way out, who gives a crap if you look like you're weak? Your peace is so much more important than proving you can do something. All of us are capable of doing something. That doesn't make you powerful. It makes you easily manipulated. Unless there is someone who is in front of you who you know they don't have the ability to self-regulate and understand in that moment that physically harming you is not an option, unless that's what's in front of you, let people talk their crap. Let them talk their crap. It's like, whatever. Your opinion is like an asshole. Everyone has one. Yours is just having diarrhea right now. This is no problem to me. Say whatever you want to say. That's evidence of being truly powerful, where you can still exist in your peace while someone is trying to verbally tear you down. That's my opinion. That's powerful. That's powerful. Where someone is going out of their way to elicit a reaction from you, and you're just like, you're funny. It's just so stupid. Oh my God. Okay. Release more, vent it out. You're clearing your throat chakra. You might need some help later. I'll punch you in the no, don't punch anyone in the throat. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people need to clear their throat chakra. I mean, that's none of my problem though. The only problems I want to kind of help shoulder with other people are world problems, not people's personal problems. You learn on your own terms. It's not my job to coddle you like you traversed my vajayjay. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't birth you. I don't need to mother you in that way. The only problems that I want to help shoulder are the ones that bring the world together. The collective work, not the personal work. Not no more. Not no more. Listen to your ancestors. Listen to your ancestors, okay? There's a lot of messages regarding ancestors lately. So, stepping back from the magical aspect of the whole ancestral thing, the ancestors have lived through the same cycles that we are currently living through right now. They've lived through this before. There have been many attempts to reset. There have been many attempts, and let me make something very, very clear. It's not the Godhead that causes resets to happen. It is the malicious, malignant groups that have gone out of their way for a reset. They want to do a hard reset so that when it reboots, they'll be at the top. They'll be in control. You know what keeps stopping the resets? Divinity. When we head towards another reset, and there's been maybe, I want to say 5 or 6 reset attempts. Whenever we come close to another reset, divinity will send specific soul groups, cloisters, and they will incarnate and they will mitigate any attempt to fully reset. Don't allow yourself to participate in things that disrespect the guidance and purity of the message of your soul and your ancestors. They're telling you something's coming. Something's coming. Maybe an event, maybe an individual, maybe. We don't know. Does that mean you should be afraid? No, it means you should be aware. Aware and afraid are two different things. Sometimes awareness will cause you to feel afraid. That's okay. As long as you have that awareness paired with the fear. But just being afraid and being afraid, what's that going to do for you? Let your fear bring your attention to what you need to pay attention to. And as you pay attention, free yourself to respond, react appropriately. We just talked about all of this. I am not a violent person. I am not an aggressive person. But if you make me truly feel as though you are going to physically harm me and I have no other way to avoid you, I give myself permission to do whatever is necessary to protect myself. And that's that. There's no preconceived notion of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to hurt you, harm you. No. I just know whatever you do to me, I will fight back. I will not be the aggressor. I will fight back, though. And it's okay. Because when you're fighting back, that means you are defending yourself. When you are the one doing something first to take away their ability to do something to you, you are now the aggressor. There are differences. Don't be the aggressor. If you have the ability to launch an attack before they could, that means you have the ability to leave before they could do anything. Be smart about your choices. Don't allow yourself to get sucked into these karmic harvesting cycles. Have a big, bold vision. Have a big, bold vision of where your life is headed, where your growth is going to take you within yourself. Trust yourself. Inner trust. Trust yourself to understand, to know, to recognize when you're being tested. Trust yourself. Allow yourself to finally bond with all of your parts. Diving for light. Sometimes when the internal space you are occupying becomes so tainted by the toxicity you've pulled in from other people, you have to dive deeper for your light, the parts of you that haven't been touched by whatever it is you're going through. It's okay for you to have different phases, stages, to have a process that you go through. These people who have convinced you that you have to be able to decide something and immediately implement it or else you're weak. They're the weak ones. That's why they're trying to get you to believe what they say. Do you know how powerful it is to share my opinion and not need anyone else to validate it? I don't need other people to be like, oh, I agree with you. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. But I can actually sit here and just say whatever I say and then move forward with my day. And that's that. And it's not because I don't care. It's because I own my life. I can share perceptions that make me appear as though I'm aggressive or violent or whatever it is. I'm not. I know I'm not. Tell me how many fistfights I've been in. Tell me how many times I've been the aggressor. I did bully one girl in high school. I'm not ashamed. I did bully her until she left the school. You want to know why? She was asking people where I live. Why the fuck do you want my home address? Who are you going to give my home address to? Are you endangering me? You going to give my home address to who? Gangbangers? Was my decision to bully her right? No. But I own that. I own that. I never laid hands on her, but I would flex. Like, whenever I see her in the hallway. Mm-hmm. It was not a nice thing to do. But in that moment, as a teenager, I decided the most appropriate thing for me to do was create so much fear within her that she stops asking people for my home address, because you'll have very real ramifications. Still wasn't okay. I own the decision I made as a teenager. I own that decision. Was I actually really going to do something to her? No. No. Was it a fucked up thing to do? Yeah, absolutely. I made her so afraid she left the school. Mm-hmm. So why am I sharing that? Because now I know I'm never going to do that to someone. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that same teenager that felt like I had to do something ugly. It was ugly. It was ugly. I never said I was going to kick her ass, but I would get in her face. Very dishonorable. That's the only person I did that to. And you guys might not understand the gravity of asking for my home address if you didn't hang out with gangbangers in high school. You know what I'm saying? if you didn't have, drive-bys done to your house while your family's asleep. So it carries a very real, very, very real unspoken threat to me. Like, you want to ask for my home address and we just had a fucking drive-by? Bitch, were you part of that drive-by? Were you the one trying to get the address so some more people can... They tried to set the house on fire with us in it sleeping. When I say don't make me take my childhood out on you, that's like... Unless you know my childhood, I wouldn't fuck around and find out. I really would not fuck around and find out. See, when people begin to understand some of the behaviors, some of the events, the environment that led to the decisions, they then begin to understand, okay, well, maybe it wasn't a horrible thing that you did that. This was a period where I was getting calls on the house phone at home of guys asking for me by name and telling me they'll walk me home. Like, what the fuck do you mean by that? What the fuck do you mean by that? You're gonna walk me home? Motherfucker, I have more than one brother. I wish a motherfucker would walk me home. You about to get fucked up. That's the environment I grew up in. I know what I'm capable of. I don't like it. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean I won't give it permission to come out of me. If you actually make me 100% believe that you will physically harm me. Most people don't know this because I've never shared it with anyone. But I actually used to go to school with a big ass knife. I'm not fucking around. You're not going to make me think that as someone who only weighs 100 pounds, that you're going to have hella guys show up and walk me home. I don't know what that means, but we all going to go down. We all are going to be injured. We all are going to be injured. And I'm not going to tell you this. I'm not going to tell you this. Because if you really put into practice what you're telling me, element of surprise. No. People always used to wonder, because I was pretty small, why I wore such baggy clothes all the time. If I was a houser, you just don't know what's on me. You just, no. I don't like tight clothes. Why? It's because none of your business. None of your business why. Because no matter where I am, I'm going to protect myself. No matter where I am, I will protect myself. You have to be able to give yourself that kind of permission. You're not preparing yourself to hurt other people. Do I want to hurt other people? No, I'm not a violent person. If protecting myself requires that I hurt other people in order for me to be able to get away, abso-fucking-lutely I will. Abso-fucking-lutely I will. Absolutely. And the degree of my aggression will be highly contingent on what you make me feel like I need to do to keep myself safe. You determine that, not me. But I give myself full permission to go all the way with however aggressive I need to be. And I've never had to get more than verbally like, what the fuck you say to me? Most people are just like, whoa, where did this come from? From deep in my belly. What did you say to me? And that's it. And that's it. Your energy will speak for you. When your energy says, I don't want to harm you, but I will if you try and harm me. Unless you're dealing with someone who has true psychological issues, and that's rare. Unless you're dealing with someone who has true psychological issues or is demonically inhabited, Most people are like, okay, you're crazy. And they leave you alone. They leave you alone. I saw a video of a woman from New York. She said she, I think, had just gotten out of the hospital or something like that, or something. She was walking down the street and this man is following her. And instead of like being afraid and running into a store or running and trying to get him to stop following her, she stopped walking. She turned around, she walked straight up to him, and she was like, I'm fucking crazy. He's like, whoa. Yeah. One of my friends from high school, she moved to New York after high school, and we reconnected, and she was telling me, and this is what really solidified it for me. She said that one day someone called her phone, knew her name, knew her address, her apartment number, and said they were going to come and, I think, like, violate her. So she called the police. You know what the police officer said? He encouraged her to get crazy. If they call back, get crazy, because crazy recognizes crazy. And all you got to do is out crazy their crazy, but you can't bluff. You actually have to be willing to be that crazy. We are animals. There's a hierarchy in the animal kingdom. You will be challenged. And if you don't carry the energy, that's not going to end well. I'm not talking about bluffing here. I'm talking about really giving yourself permission to do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. And I hope you never have to do anything that's physically violent. But I also hope you give yourself permission to do whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe, to defend yourself. And usually, if you say something before it escalates to that degree, it gets squashed. But when you allow someone who's testing boundaries, when you allow that person to believe like they have some sort of power over you, you're afraid, they'll develop the courage to do something to you. But if you had just addressed it right then and there, they're like, oh, forget it. Barry and Joe. He only switched to one other profile before he shut the F up. You know that's the same person. You know that's the same person. You want to come and be belligerent in the comments? Let me fully address you. Your mom's a hoe. Your mom's a hoe. Okay, you switch into your Barry account? Okay. Barry's a hoe too. I got 2 skeletons. Let's bring those live. Let's fucking turn this around and make the joke about you. You're not going to bully me in my own space. Please. You, your mom, and your Barry, y'all are all hoes. Okay? Y'all are all hoes. Yeah. You know damn well that person had more accounts. But it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. I was called a landmine for addressing the BS. Tell those interlopers they shouldn't be walking around your personal space to begin with. That's why the landmines are there. If they're too idiotic to not notice where the landmines were put, they shouldn't be fucking with you. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. So you come from a legacy of light. You're escalating processes that will help you to ascend faster. This escalation is increasing your potentiality. Card number 8, be the hunter, not the hunted. This is about allowing yourself to receive situations, receive information, receive guidance, all of that. Sometimes the situations that you live through are intended to cause trauma-induced accretion. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't mean you should be okay with someone traumatizing you. It just helps you to explain, understand why you are not actually being punished. We cannot use spiritual concepts to excuse away other people's behaviors. Oh, yes, you're the vehicle my soul is using for my trauma-induced accretion. Thank you for that. But also, fuck you. Get the fuck out of my life. Fuck you. Yes, that's an appropriate reaction. That's absolutely an appropriate reaction. Oh, maybe so and so is doing these things to you because you had a life together and it's, karmic stuff playing out. Okay, well, let me see what this is. Oh, he killed me in that life. Fuck you in this one. You're not going to kill me again. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, don't romanticize the things that need to be taken in at face value. Oh, he killed me in that life, and oh, maybe now he found me in this life to make it right. Most people don't change unless it's in your destiny to live through things that cause you to be different. Most people will continue with the same logic in the previous life. Unless they understand, they remember you shared that life together before where they did really horrible things to you. Most people do not change. Let us be very clear on this. I've come across so many people who I had a previous life with, and they tried to eliminate me in that previous life because they wanted what I have. Oh, guess what? They tried that same thing again in this life. No, bitches. No, bitches. No. I'm not a bodhisattva in this life. I will fucking fight back. Yeah. On the same note, I've had lives where I was extremely brutal, barbaric. I'm not that either anymore. I'm not that. I'm capable of that, but I'm not that. I don't want to be that. I shared recently, I've had lives where I was Haitian, high priest. I still remember that stuff. Do I want to do that? Not saying Haitian practices are bad. I'm saying, do I want to continue what I did in that life, which was if you cross me, there will be hell to pay and then some. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That knowledge stays with me. I know how to do that. Will I do that? Probably not in this life. I just don't want to. I don't resonate with it. It's okay for me to not resonate with it in this life. That's not an intrinsic implication of, oh, it's evil. No, it's on your intent. And because I understand that in that lifetime, in multiple lifetimes, I might get drunk with power. I might become addicted to the witnessing of other people's suffering to further fuel my ego based desire for power. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. Be very aware of how your previous lives could still affect your life now. Be very aware of it. It doesn't make you a bad person because you did bad things in previous lives. I remember in that life, I burned people alive. I used vats of melted sugar. Pretty fucked up. And no, I wasn't a colonizer. I was Haitian. I don't know where the hell I got that sugar from, but yeah. Yep. Melt the sugar, toss people in there. Nasty. That's horrendous. Horrendous. I don't want to be that. It's okay for me to grow through lifetimes and understand I don't want to be that just because I can. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. And I'm not trying to be the opposite of that. I'm trying to find my middle ground in this life and learn to the highest degree that I could possibly learn. So I don't have to carry more trauma and karma into future lives. I want to clear it all out in this life. I want to neutralize and mitigate everything in this life. It gets heavy carrying around all of that on your shoulders, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You got to make sure you do what you need to do and let go of what you need to let go of so you can become a higher expression of who you are. Listen, I've lived lives where I was slaves on plantations, and I've lived lives as white people. Both lives are valid. In this life, I'm Filipina. The life right before this, I was Japanese, and I participated in the atrocities that were done to the Filipino people. Japanese were extremely brutal in the Philippines. They were brutal, period. This freaking video came across my path, and then I believe it was World War I or World War II, the shit that they were doing. Do you know how it was realized that the body is made of 70% water? Some high-ranking member in the Japanese army, according to this video, I didn't want to look it up because I'm like, oh, hell no. Just out of his curiosity, he decided to bake people. What? Mm-hmm. And based on the observations, they calculated 70% water. What? Yeah. Yes. I don't want to know if that's true or not. I don't want to know. Mm-hmm. So I had to be born Filipino in this life so that I can get the full spectrum, not just one polarity, but the full thing. Now y'all understand why I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, don't call me Filipino. I'm Japanese. Like, no, you're not, girlfriend. Yeah, no. Ever since I was a little child. I don't know where the hell that came from, but ever since I was a little child. It took me much of my life to let that go. Much of my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't realize until I was an adult with my own child. My child helped me to learn this because they were Japanese with me in that life. We died together. He remembered. I thought it was a dream, like this nightmare that I used to have as a child. And I never told anyone. I never tell anyone my dreams. But it was this nightmare that I would have. It was like some sort of almost like cockpit. I couldn't see anyone with me, but I felt like someone was behind me. And like water was coming in, and I was in water. I could hear whale songs. It's fucking traumatizing. I don't like water. I could hear whale songs, and I knew I was going to die. Kamikaze! Yeah, no, I knew I was going to die. I knew I was going to die. Yeah. And I was okay with it too. Like, I remember thinking, this is an honorable way to die. Like, you crazy ass. Yeah. Pearl Harbor. Funny thing, when I was around, I want to say like 2 or 3, we immigrated from the Philippines, and part of our flight, we stopped in Honolulu. And it was raining. I still remember this. I was a toddler, and it was like this glass window, and I was banging. I gotta go outside. And my mom was like, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't sit down. I gotta go outside. My things are outside. Yeah. I didn't know. I was like, I have to go in the water. She's like, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't sit down. I still remember that. And then little did I know, I actually died in Pearl Harbor. You know how I found out? My son told me that I had to watch this special. He was maybe like 2 or 3 years old. I had to watch this documentary because he wasn't allowed to watch cartoons. He's only allowed to watch documentaries, right? So it was a documentary on the US involvement in World War II and the Japanese attempt to occupy Pearl Harbor. And I'm watching this. He's like, did you remember? I was like, kid, like, you're making me a little scared. And then he goes, you remember the songs in the water? And I was like, there were whales there. It's whale songs. And when I looked it up, Pearl Harbor happened around the time, the season that humpbacks would go into the harbor and birth their babies before they go all the way back up. Yeah, crazy shit. I I don't know if the plane is still there. I want to say it is. My husband's auntie, because my husband is from Honolulu, um, but his aunt has a house that overlooks the bay, the harbor. And I don't know. They said that you could take tours where the ship is like a glass bottom or something like that, and you could see down to the floor of the bay and harbor. I was like, I'm good. No. And I remember his aunt was like, "Go to the backyard and check out the." No, thank you. Thank you, Auntie. I'm gonna go in the house now. Yeah, no, it was very like, mm-mm, mm-mm. No, I don't want to see it. I don't want a tour. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to. So that really fucked up my first adult trip to Hawaii. I told my husband, like, if you're gonna take me to Hawaii again, I'm gonna need you to take me to a different island. We can't do Oahu. Like that got some real fucked up memories for me. I don't, yeah, no Oahu. I'm good. But yeah, yeah, it's sunken stuff. Whatever from what happened, it's sunken stuff. And I'll tell you this before I go. Part of the memories that I recovered, we had to rush. We had to rush and attack Pearl Harbor because we became aware that the government was aware of what we were going to do. Are you aware the US government was aware what the Japanese had planned? Kim. I did an entire school project on Pearl Harbor, killed it in a God B minus. That teacher killed me in a past life, I'm convinced. You took that teacher's spouse in a previous life. They're still bitter. I'm joking. It's plausible. I'm joking though. It's plausible. It's a potentiality. I'm just saying, there's potentials, and that's a potential. So you guys, I'm planning on coming live later today. I might do some expedites and mix it in with some crystals to auction. Like, look at this. Let me show you guys this. I still have a ton of crystals. Look at that. I'm just saying. And it's full of rainbows too. My lights are not positioned in the right way for me to be able to capture it, but I have a ton of stuff. All right, I gotta get going. Where's my paper? My paper. I'll put this back. Okay. All right, guys. So I'll see you later on this afternoon, evening time. I want to say around 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when I'll come live. I'll create the link. If I do expedites, you'll see in the comments, in the pinned comment of that live stream, that where you can buy the expedites if you want energy work, personal readings, things like that. Fire hematoid. I think I do, but I don't think it's for sale. I don't think it's part of what I was going to auction off. So, okay, do you guys really want pineapple quartz? I didn't want to let go of it, but I literally have quite a bit. I have quite a bit. And I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of coming to terms with allowing a few more things to go to new homes, simply because, you know, that means I can purchase more new stuff. No, that's the mute button. Oh my god. These are very juicy. I think they're like strawberry pineapple quartz. I think that's what they're called. Um they just like ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, no, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, pineapple quartz. I don't have time to show one. I don't have time to show one. They literally look like the top of a pineapple. They're quartz points that go like that, and they look like the top of a pineapple. So that's why they're called. Has a light hematite layering that is pink in color. Yes, yes, it has a light one. So it looks pinkish. Is that like strawberry, strawberry pineapple quartz? They're pretty. I do gotta go. I do. But let me show you a picture of something similar. Let me just show you a picture. Pineapple quartz. Do 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 do. Ooh, yes. But they're more clustered. I have a couple that look similar to that. And then most of them look more like, see, they're so juicy that I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I don't know, y'all. I got a lot of stuff. You have no idea. And I think part of why my husband's like, well, you decide what you want to keep and what you don't, because if I sell something that I want to keep, I'm probably going to buy something else to replace it. I gotta go. Bye, guys.